So I have another repair to do on my 2004 Dodge Ram. I've been getting a check engine light, and the code on that has led me to believe that the EGR valve is bad. So I've gone ahead, picked up a new one, and it should be a fairly straightforward swap to get that in. Here's the code I've been having. It hasn't affected any drivability, so I've put it off for a little bit, but it's finally time to go ahead and get this part changed out and hopefully remove this code for good. This is the 5.7 liter Hemi. I do have the K&N cold air intake on it, so that opens up a little bit of space. But you can see here on the passenger side, next to the alternator, right where that red clip is, that's going to be where our EGR valve is. I could probably reach it as is, but I think I'm going to take this top tube out of the way just to free up a little bit more room to get down in there. Like I said, I probably don't need to take this out of the way, and I think if you have a stock intake, then you would have to take it out of the way. But using a nut driver, we've got a hose clamp on the front, one on the back, this hose to pop off, and then our intake air sensor. Should probably clean this while I'm at it. So we have one electrical connector on top. Unlock it with a screwdriver. And then hopefully that pulls apart nice and easy. There's the plug with the connector removed. I couldn't do it one-handed. Two-handed was a lot easier. Then I just tucked it up and out of the way. You can kind of see down there, there's two bolts coming out of the left-hand side. Hit that with some PB Blaster, and that's going to be next to remove. Looking at our new part on the table, you can see the same electrical connector at the top and the two first bolts that I'm talking about. Two little ones on this side, so the passenger side of the unit when it's in the car. These shouldn't be on too tight, so we'll see if I can access it easily. First one's nice and easy with this 8mm socket. Got this back one going. Two bolts out of the way. This piece can just kind of flop out of the way for now. And then down in there, really below the unit, are the two bolts that are holding it onto the engine. All right, I really won't be able to show the next one, but you guys have to believe me. The two bolts that we need to take off are kind of below that T-joint on the unit, and it's going to be holding it to the engine. They're down there. They're 10 mils. We'll pop those off, and then the unit should come free. So I have the old one on the left and my new one on the right. The new one did come with the big bolts to connect it to the engine, and then the two gaskets that I need. And then I'll reuse the little bolts for the tube that was on the side. But there we go, ready to put in the new piece now. I think the recommended way to put it back together is to kind of preload the gasket, preload the bolts in there, just because it is a little bit of a tricky angle to work with. All right, the new part is installed. You can see it nice and shiny down in there. Don't forget to torque all of the bolts to 20 foot-pounds. Really isn't a difficult change. The only thing that kind of tripped me up a little bit, we have these two coolant hoses that run here. They're just kind of in the way. They're kind of always in the way, and you just have to kind of push them to get them out of your way so that you can get better access to the bolts. But everything goes back in just as easy as it came out. Now I just have to put my intake back on. Getting it out of the way helped a lot, getting my torque wrench, because it would have hit the intake if it was still there. But yep, pretty quick, easy change. So at this point, the job's done. Shouldn't have a check engine light anymore. We have one fresh part installed on the truck. Fairly easy to do, and probably would take somebody under an hour to do this change themselves. So no point in sending it to a mechanic. Buy the part fairly cheap, put it in your garage, in your driveway, in a parking lot. Shouldn't be an issue. Thanks for watching.